Good morning, Federico Ferrante here from Azimut Verve, and we are today in Pompano Beach, Florida, where we're going to take a deep look at this brand new Azimut Verve 48. A fun fact before we go through the boat is that this project within our internal technical department and project development team was named Project Mission Impossible. And the reason is that, of course, is an evolution of our former Azimut Verve 47, which was thankfully extremely successful. We sold 78 units of the Azimut 47 Verve in 3 years. We introduced it in February of 2020. And that boat, talking to customers and people which bought it and used it for time, as far as design and features and so on and so forth, was basically perfect. So mission impossible because it wasn't really that easy to make the Azimut 47 better, but I think we accomplished a phenomenal result. And we want to start here from the stern where the impossible mission actually started through propulsion. So this, of course, was the biggest drive. So now you can see that we power the 48 with 3 600s versus 4 450. So that was a V8 racing engine. We needed 4 of them. And this instead is a recreational 600 horsepower V12 that Mercury just came out with. Not only is a bigger displacement and different kind of engine configuration and more power, of course, even though the overall power is the same. There's still 1800 horsepower. This is divided by 3, that was divided by 4. But the entire project of these engines is completely different. So as you probably know by now, because they became already fairly popular, the engine no longer turned. So in order to steer the boat with the steering wheel, typically outboard engine has a ram and the entire engine move because it's one piece with the propellers. Now this product here is completely different. They have a pod underwater, so the part that turns is only the part underwater. Everything you see here never moves. It's installed the way it is from the factory. You will never see these 3 engines move. What that means? That means that we have completely redesigned all the transom and the side platform around this new propulsion system. And you can tell we actually have a 47 Verve next door, which is perfect because I will reference quite a bit to that boat while it's next door. And in order to appreciate, and there's no better way to compare them, the difference with this. So we have completely redesigned, it's a complete new mold, the entire transom of the 48 is redesigned, and you can tell the amount of livable space, livable area that this new propulsion system allows us to provide to the consumer, to whomever will own a 48 Verve. This now is all usable space, to the point that where we're redesigning and thinking about changes and so on and so forth, we decided to put the outdoor shower right here on the starboard side, which on the 47 Verve instead is on the port side on the platform because there wouldn't be comfortable room enough here to shower. Instead, look, this is your outdoor shower when you come out of the water. This is where your ladder will be, which goes on both sides. And this is your outdoor shower, so you can tell the amount of space I have, extremely comfortable. So this is the first real big step and change versus the former 47 and the amount of space that on the transom the 48 Verve provides. Think about coming in and out of the water. This again will be where your ladder is. I'll show you where in a moment where it stores because it's also a very clever solution. So this is again, propulsion system. While we talk about it, another extremely important aspect is performance. So of course, as I said, the power is the same, 1800 horsepower, and we haven't had any change in performance. Every 48 Verves pass the 50, 51, 52 knots, depending on condition. So same speed as the 450R racing. What we did lose, which is a phenomenal news for the consumer, is noise. While the 450 V8s are great engines, nothing to complain about that, but they are racing drives and they're smaller. They're V8s versus V12, so they are more noisy by nature, and it's 4 of them instead of 3. So one of the tricky part of the 47 was that for long navigation could become pretty annoying as far as the noise produced by the engines. The 3 600s V12, they dramatically reduce the noise to the point with low RPMs you don't even feel them on, but as also at cruising speed they are definitely way quieter than the 450s, and that's a very big highlight which we want to bring up. Looking at the transom, we of course have the incredible storage compartment in the aft, which was the same on the 47 Verve. This is your boarding ladder that I was talking to you about before. As you can see, very cleverly stored on the top of this hatch, so when you don't use it, it's completely out of your way. And here you have a room for up to 2 sea bobs on top of each other and 2 inflatable paddle boards next to each other, deflated of course. You have your electrical sockets here to recharge your sea bobs and power your any toy which will be in there. This is the sea bob bases, and again, I apologize, you will see things around in certain storages. This boat just was off the ship last week from Italy, just arrived, brand spanking new, so we still have, the team still have to put you know, components in places where they belong. But this is the stern storage, extremely light to move. That was another thing which was dramatically improved versus the 47. The 47 required a little bit more effort, and this instead is feather light, and it works perfectly. Now if you stay right there, Josh, and I move here, this is another area. First of all, take a look at my walk where I have absolutely, there's no steps, no dangers, and I walk from here to there, and now I'm on the platform. The platform is another area which has been significantly improved. It's 38% bigger than the 47 Verve. If you recall, and you can actually see it there, when you see that vertical line on the platform of the 47, picture that the line is there, right here. That means that this entire slice of the platform on the 47 was fixed, was part of the boat, and only, per se, this side was sliding up. Well, we have incorporated this piece. We did the structural changes in the molds and in the structural mechanical design of the structure of this area in order to increase dramatically, I would say. Again, picture, this is the amount of space more that you have on the platform. So now the entire side of the boat opens, and combined to the aft deck produce this incredible area of usable space extremely close to the water. So the amount of walkable and usable area close to the water on the 48 is a dramatic difference versus the 47. We can start stepping in the more livable areas, and of course we kept, because as I said, Mission Impossible, Project Mission Impossible, we kept all the features of the 47 which were phenomenal, starting from this storage, for instance, which is an ice box. So this can be used as storage if wanted to, but is also insulated and drained, so you can fill this with ice and fill it completely up with cold drinks and will stay cold like a cooler, like an ice box. We have this one here and the one in the corner over there under that cushion. That is another ice box which is insulated and drained, so it can be used either as a storage if you don't want to use it as an ice box, but you put ice and drinks in there and it will stay cold for the same time that the cooler would be. The phenomenal layout here, so which combined to the platform gives even more open space. So now you are in the islands with your kids and you want to go diving, snorkeling, paddleboarding, kite surfing, anything you want to do. Look at the amount of space this cockpit provides. Again, from here, I mean, you have all walkable space, no obstruction, and right there to the water, jump in the water, come back from the water from there, and then come back to the boat. I mean, everything is extremely sport, nature, swimming, diving friendly layout. But then you wanna instead, you know, lunchtime come and you wanna dine. And here with the press of a button, as you can see, you now have a phenomenal and spacious dining table coming out. And this comes all the way up and is of course provided with a vinyl cover, custom made and designed for the table, which perfectly match the shape of the table, because of course we don't want people to eat on a surface they were walking 5 minutes before. So we provide a cover which goes on top of this. Once it's up, you put it up, and now you have a phenomenal cockpit with really dining for 8 people, extremely comfortable at the proper table. You see, look, now after we're done with the diving with the family, you put up the table, and your food is out, your outdoor kitchen is there. We'll go through it in a minute. And look at the amount of space you have. Look at the comfort. You can, or at night you want to have a drink with friends, look at the size of this table, look at the comfort of this seating, look at the depth. So it's really a perfect ergonomical fit in the shade, because as we have opened, now we are August in Florida, so we look for shade anywhere we can. And so we open our Sure Shade awning here, and as you can tell, this is a perfect example of how the boat will be used. You have cup holders all over here. You don't need to show them, but I mean, just for reference, these are all cup holders, 4 per side. There is another 2 there and another 2 there. So I mean, it's really an area designed to be used. And so we talk about food. And of course, while I lower the table, because we'll show something else later, we can talk about another difference, which we think made quite a significant improvement versus the 47 Verve on this 48, which is this outdoor kitchen. As you might recall, and I don't know, no, you can't see it from there, but on the 47 Verve, this piece of furniture was getting all the way here, and therefore, access to the forward area and access to the main helm was only possible from the port side. And also the challenge was that if you had someone sitting here which wanted to move, he needed those 2 persons to move in order for him or her to get out of there. This is where we instead decided to make a strong design change, and we have provided this very comfortable wide passage, and the goal, of course, was to keep all the features of the other outdoor kitchen in this one, which is technically smaller, but as you can see, our engineering team have been able to basically keep all the features. So you have room for 2 Canyon appliances. In this instance, the customer decided to have a cooktop and a grill. You can have 2 cooktops, 2 grills, 1 cooktop and 1 grill, whatever the selection will be. You have your outdoor sink right here, which is always useful. You have ice maker and refrigerator, ice maker, refrigerator there. And then you have generous storage here, which, if wanted to be, can be another refrigerator. So if you care about extra refrigeration, that you can also use as storage per se. For instance, if you ask me, I would do a second refrigerator here for sure. But this has room, and we offer the second refrigerator. And then lastly, you have your double trash bin and your drawer for your utensils or silverware that you want to keep on the outside. So as you can see, of course, and last but surely not least, this is a television, and high-low with your television coming up. So imagine now you are here and you have the television up, and you are in a setup where you can watch a game and have a phenomenal time with friends watching television from the sofa. So in this miracle, I will say, of engineering, we have been able to keep all the same feature of the 47 Verve, but providing an extremely comfortable passage through the bow side of the boat or the helm. And this, from an everyday use standpoint, talking to customers, listening to the market, this is definitely a feature which is extremely important, will be definitely appreciated versus the former 47. We provided, we use this as a little extra storage, why not? There was the room, and I will not go through opening all the hatches and wasting your time with that. Of course, this is storage. There is storage under this. There is storage under this. There is that refrigerator that I talked about under that. And this, there is no storage because, as you can see the hinges here, this is the pivoting cover of the aft storage. This will be your fuel tank. While we are at it, just take a look real quick. The important part of this is that, of course, we have a monitoring system which shows fuel levels, but you also have here the visual mechanical fuel gauge, very, very important. As you can see, all our tanks are, of course, C and ABUSC certified. This is a manual shutoff for emergencies. You have your solenoids. So very simple system. Of course, bonding everywhere. And yeah, this is your fuel tank. In case of need of inspection, that's why the hatches are there with all these bolts. So you undo the bolts and you can inspect the tank, clean the tank, change the gauge, and maintain in the way is needed. I think, Josh, if I go there, you go there, we can do the helm. Oh, actually, I forgot. Do you see this in video very well? Because this is another feature that we introduce. I don't know if you can see this, I really don't know the word in English. In Italian would be bastorilievo. In English it's too difficult for me. But anyway, is a print of the Azimut Yachts logo that you have right here, which at night has an LED light inside all this perimeter and gives a phenomenal effect. So imagine this starts strong here and then it fades down to nothing. So when it's illuminated at night, it gives a very, very cool, almost artistic touch to this area of the ceiling. So again, Italians, we live for beauty, right? So we don't leave any details. This could have been a flat ceiling with 2 spotlights. Probably nobody would have ever cared. And that's the way it is on 90% of the products out there. And no, we probably have done a meeting of countless hours to discuss how deep should have been the fading of the Azimut logo, how wide, and so on and so forth. But then if you see the final result, that's what makes the difference. That's luxury is made of details and not of substance. The luxury is made by details. So let's go to the helm. We have a couple of interesting features here. But first of all, you might wonder, why is this not done the same with the same color and pattern of the thick decking? And that's on purpose, because this is a step, of course, very easy to put up and down. So in case you're taller, you will keep it up. In case you're shorter, you will put it down. Once down, we wanted it to be as much in contrast as possible in order to avoid tripping. So if this would have been the same pattern of the deck, would have been nicer, of course, it would disappear, but would have been higher the hazard of tripping. Because it's in full contrast, you see it and you will step on it naturally. And that's the reason why it's different. We put a beautiful Azimut logo there and it gives a little character. Storage, always very important. So nice convenient drawers. This can hold all your navigation, your binocular, your searchlight, your chargers, your flares, anything that you want that is navigation related, a manual horn, a manual compass. You can keep everything here, and so it's always handy when you need it in the helm, as well as a bunch of other stuff. We have here is very conveniently located as well. This is the reservoir for the water of the ice maker. Of course, you don't want the ice maker, first of all, we can't connect the ice maker to the freshwater tank by regulations, but also you don't want your drink water from a tank. So that you can fill it with mineral water, but it's extremely easy. You can take that tank out if you want to, or you can fill it from there. You remove the cap and fill it from there. The helm, the main change that we had in the helm is actually this up here. Electric operated sunroof. So of course this opens electrically with a simple push of a button, and is a German brand, Webasto, leader worldwide in RV and marine equipment and movement. So extremely reliable, extremely simple. And in those cold days, for instance, we got inputs from customers up north, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut. When they start using boats in the spring or at the end of summer, the weather gets cold, and if it's a sunny day with a blue sky, you know, they would love to have to cruise around, of course, at low speed with the open sunroof, because it brings heat in, believe it or not. And of course, the opposite works in the hot weather, where instead maybe at higher speed brings in some air. Another interesting feature is, of course, this hatch, which we purposely made it counter movement. So imagine you are here, again, hot day. Of course, you have your 4 AC grill here, which are blowing, as a matter of fact, as we speak. But this will provide you a lot of natural, fresh air coming straight in your face, which you can adjust as you wish, all the way down to close if you don't need it. Talking about the helm, of course, we have the brand new Mercury control units, which have also a vessel view display here, as well as of course, we have the engines, all the engines information provided on the plotters. So we have been able to remove, there was here on the 47 Verve, we had the ugly extra display, different look, different profiles, which was the Mercury vessel view, which we needed to put here. We have been able to take it off, again, beautiful, clean, and smooth, and the information of the engines are provided now straight right here on the handles, as well as your trim, your auto trim control is right here integrated. Before there was a keyboard right here, fairly ugly and just another piece, versus here everything is all integrated in this phenomenal piece that Mercury came up with. And as far as the joystick, instead is the now renowned Skyhook by Mercury. Phenomenal system. I really encourage anybody to just find the opportunity and possibility to try it, because you will be blown away. The technology behind this little lever is something that, especially if you start moving boats when in the past, where we had you know, steel cable moving gears in the gearboxes, and no hydraulic steering, and if you think that in 25 years we got to this, it's a miracle of engineering. Phenomenal. Works as a autopilot as well, so you can set your autopilot from here and correct the curves using the joystick. And of course, you know, you do all your maneuvering. We still provide a bow thruster, even though Mercury claims that is not needed with the joystick, but we still provide the bow thruster. Reason is that this is in most instances, especially here in the United States, is an owner-operated boat. So many times is husband and wife, and sometimes the wife drives and the husband is on the line. I'm not saying that that is a role, but some other times you have the husband driving and asking his wife or his significant other to put lines on a pole. And if the movement with the joystick sometimes are a little rougher, there's more power transmitted to the movement. The bow thruster instead is proportional and allow you to very, very gentle movement. So if you want to get someone close to a pole to put a line on it, with the bow thruster you can do it in such a smooth way that there is no shaking, no uncomfortable movement. As far as the control of the boat, of course, you have the 3 Raymarine displays. We set it up right now just to give you a showing, and they also include the monitoring system. Monitoring system is something that controls the system on board and is divided in pages. And of course you switch through the pages by touching these buttons, and every page gives you information. Though the first one, which is this symbol right here, is the bilges, shows you the bilge pump, if they're working or not, if you have water in the bilge, and you can activate also the bilge pump. The second one is the electricity management. Right now, for instance, is showing us that we have power coming from shore, goes to the boat, and is telling us that we have 239 volts coming in and we are taking 11 amps of current coming out. If you would turn on your generator, this will shut off like this, and this will light up and is telling you that you're getting power from your generator. As well as you can start, of course, and stop your generator from here without going to the actual machine down there. And here it tells you the voltage and amperes draw of all the batteries on board. So this is our service battery, which right now is the only battery switch we have engaged. And of course we are charging 18 amps and taking out 4 amps. And these are the engine batteries, tell you voltage, where now engines are off, so there is no absorption, and genset battery. This is navigation, gives you those information that you most likely would like to access when you are moving with the boat. Of course, your tanks level, you know, the navigation lights, anchor lights, dimmer, the temperature of the, it's not really an engine room per se, but it's the room where all the systems are, so it keeps the same name. And of course, you can control your windlass and turn on and off your underwater lights. Then you have another page, which is the air conditioning page. Very, very convenient, because without going to each area, you can control the air conditioning system all from here, setting up temperature, fan speed, cool mode, heat mode, so you can do it all from here. And of course, this system is on any of the three, you see, for instance, any of the three multifunction display, you can put it on. Light is also very convenient, because typically you go through the boat and turn on and off all the lights through the switches before this technology was introduced, and now is extremely convenient because you can put all lights on or all lights off with one touch, and this is all on in the upper deck, and then we have all on the lower deck. And or you can do 20% light, 50% lights, or you can select each area. So very, very convenient that you can turn on and off all the lights from here without going through the ambience. And this is where you calibrate your settings, you set your units of measure, and so on and so forth. And this is the typical alarm page, which, for instance, this is very interesting. These two, you see these alarms that are engaged right now, very clever. It's telling me that I have the ignition of the engine on, and the sweep platform is low. And I have the ignition on, and I have the shore power cord connected. So if I will try to put the engine in gear and move, this will start beeping, because you don't want to do that with the platform down and the shore power cord connected to shore. So very, very clever system. Storage unit, cup holders. Of course, the boat have a Seakeeper, so you control the Seakeeper from the related app on the dashboard here, and you have a Seakeeper control there. I think we kind of cover, I would say, the entire helm. The pilot seat go up and down and back and forth electrically. The two co-pilot seats are instead fixed. I would say that we can probably go to the bow, Josh, because we did cover everything here. So while you are behind me, I want you to show how comfortable and how wide is the side walking and how safe. So you see, I'm always safe. I have always places to handle and grab. And then we, of course, arrive to this incredible area, and where we put up this beautiful bimini. Again, August in Florida, so we're looking for shade anywhere we can. And as you can tell, you can be as much in the sun as you want on the 48 Verve, but you can also be as much in the shade. And with this nice breeze, I gotta tell you, it's very pleasurable to be here. And you can spend very comfortable time here. I have phenomenal ergonomics. Look at the depth of this sofa. My back support is perfectly fine. It is way above my kidneys, so it's not one of those little uncomfortable back support that after 20 minutes you want to go somewhere else. I can really spend time here. Imagine this, now you're at the anchor in the Bahamas, in Sardinia, anywhere else, in beautiful places in the world with friends. You want that little nice breeze, maybe a sunset, scotch on the table. Why not? Relax. This table is made for either snack and aperitivo time, or just put your feet on it and relax and enjoy the beauty of life. And here, going more on the technical side, we have storage, very convenient storage. That you see right here is the cover for the leg of this table. So this table, of course, comes off. That leg that you can see unbolt from the deck with very easy movement, and you put the leg, which is made of carbon fiber, in that bag, so it's protected and it fits perfectly here. The table fits under the hatch of the engine room per se. We'll see it later, but there is a designated spot for the table, so it's out of your way. Here you have your anchor windlass, obviously centrally located, and here, sorry if I pass in front of you, but here you have your windlass control, and of course plenty of storage. This is your windlass clutch lever, of course, and you have plenty of storage for all your bow needs, and maybe you want to put cleaning products, mops, and anything that is ample possibility for storage. Here, instead, of course, God forbid you need to walk back for a cold drink. This is a refrigerator compartment. Now, this is not an ice box. This is an actually refrigerator. And as you can see, for reference and ease of maintenance, this is the compressor of that refrigerator, full ventilation and separated unit. So the compressor is here, protected from the element, and then you have the refrigeration compartment under my knee. And here again, just to take a look at the ergonomics, but perfect, comfortable, relax, chill. And behind me you have this incredible sunbathing area with adjustable backrest. We can host very comfortably 3 people. I would say that 4 can also fit. So again, look at this area. You can really have 6 or 7 people in this area, everybody with his own space, with their cold drinks, with their food, their shade, and music, of course. You can see speaker to enjoy, you know, the bow of the boat can really become party A, and the stern party B, and the lower deck party C. So in everything in 48 feet. So phenomenal. While we're walking on it, this is something that we kept from the Verve collection, and is the S-Tech, is the synthetic decking, which basically is a Dutch product, and it requires zero maintenance at all. So it's just cleaning when it gets dirty. Can be cleaned with pressure wash. So, and there's no more sanding, no more treating. Like teak, of course, has that natural vibe, that beautiful look, and I don't doubt it. But it also requires a lot of care and a lot of money to be invested on a teak deck to keep it always spot on. This is, of course, is a synthetic product, so fairly good for the environment. There is no teak tree cutting and treating the lands for teak plantations, but also is completely maintenance free. So once you buy the boat with it on it, it doesn't cost you nothing but cleaning once in a while. I think we can approach the lower deck. Maybe later we'll show just the depth of that passage to the bow, because it's fairly comfortable as well, even though narrower than that. But let's go down to the lower deck. Now we can take a look at the lower deck, Josh. So if you come down here, maybe you go there, and we can start from here. So this, let's go a little bit on the technical side. This, of course, is the panel where you have some storage, which is, again, always convenient. You control your Fusion for the lower deck, your music system. You have your Seakeeper control panel right here, and which you also have duplicated as an app on the Raymarine screen. And this is where you put on your typical keys to then start your engine. You don't need to start your engine from here. You just put the keys on, and then you start them either one by one or all together over there. And this is your air conditioning control panel right here. You see, this is where you adjust your temperature and you manage the air conditioning system of the net. Now, an area which is always used is the electrical panel. As you can see, we made it now. These are the little touches that we added to the 47, you know, on the 48, which is the lighting. So even at night, when you open the panel, the light comes on and you can see everything nice and clear. Yeah, this is your DC side of the electrical system management, and this is your AC side. Same kind of information that you have on the monitoring system for certain instances. So voltage on your power, where the power comes from, shore or genset. And then these are all your magnetothermic breakers that protect all the loads, DC and AC. So everything is conveniently located in one spot, and you leave everything on the way you want it. And once you leave the boat, actually right now, for instance, we don't need this engine battery switch. Let me just mute the alarm, because of course you have removed the power. But when you leave the boat or when you come on the boat, the only thing you will have to push is this button right here. You don't have to worry about the lights, you don't have to worry about anything. Once you put this off, everything goes off. and then you come back to the boat for the weekend, and you don't have to go through all the system and all the switches again. Whatever you want it to be on, you touch this button again, and everything comes back on exactly the way you left it, if you want to remove power. This is your receipt, so I think we can close this. We covered it. Now, refrigeration. This is for the dinette. Again, remember we have 2 ice boxes. They're in the on the deck and under the sofa. You have a refrigerator and ice maker in the outdoor kitchen with the potential to put another refrigerator. You have a refrigerator in the bow, which is a compressor power refrigerator. And now you have a refrigerator here for the galley and a freezer here for the galley. So count the amount of refrigeration that you have in 48 feet. And last but not least, 7 bottles wine cooler to keep your favorite wines always at the perfect temperature. Okay, you will see these awkward little systems right here, and these are because, again, we said it at the beginning, this is a 50 knots plus boat, so every single appliance has a mechanical locking system. So once you go in navigation, you don't want anything to be able to open and have things all over the place. So important to remember to close them, because that requires remember, and then once you get to port and if the weather is calm, then you leave them all open. Going to the dinette, again, I'll show you again ergonomics. They're always perfectly comfortable. You have a beautiful table which is high-low, so this technically can become an additional sleeping area for maybe kids, family with small kids which take a nap in the afternoon, or maybe a weekend where there is a couple of more people on board. This can transform in a bed. This table goes down, get even to this, and we'll see under that bed there is the extra filler cushion which is made exactly the shape of this table. And so picture this entire area now becomes a bed. By removing the cushions, becomes of course longer and deeper. Right here, very clever system. Again, we are in 47 feet, so the size is what it is, but this is where your china, this is where our engineering department put all your china. So, and is made in, look at this, in trays where you can take out, and underneath you have all the rest of the other china. So perfectly done in neoprene. Oh, this is neoprene and made to absorb any movement that the boat will do. And your entire china set, of course, you know, custom made for the product, is safely stored right here. And then once you're done, you put back these kind of boxes, if you wish, and your china is safely stored with you know, there is no interference, let's say. You're not using precious cabinetry right there. So, and you put it back and done, and the china disappears. So very clever way. Galley, behind this mirror, of course, television. So the television, when it's on, of course, you see it very well, and when it's off, instead is a beautiful classy mirror. And you can watch TV now down here in the air conditioning, in perfect comfort on the leather, Italian leather, custom made sofa and television here. You have everywhere possible is storage in the galley. These are actually very convenient storage compartment, fairly deep. And of course you have your Canyon cooktop, microwave combined oven, and additional storage here. Trash, and so on and so forth. You might wonder why there is no storage here, because that is the side walking deck. So the area where you walk to the bow is exactly what this step is. That's the area that you use to walk to the bow. Bottle holder there for your oil, vinegar, and so on and so forth. So again, and all of this is also very useful storage for food and groceries and so on and so forth. Now we can move to the master cabin. That's my phone, we can ignore it for the moment. Master cabin, you have 2 full-size cabinet. This is with shelves, and the other one is an hanging locker opposed on the other side. And of course, each area has its own television. You have a very comfortable bed. I actually will not mind to show the setup because it is a perfectly sized, and you know, at night reading my bed and my book, and so you see the size is extremely generous, very comfortable. I mean, of course, this again, you might wonder what is that. This is the area that we saw before, where the table, the sofa, the shading, the refrigerator, all that area is why we have this in the master cabin. So you know, it's 48 feet. That's the design, but you get used to it fairly easy, and that provides you a cabin with a full door which you can lock. So this is a real cabin, and with a real bed and ample storage on top of the two cabinets. Of course, we have ample storage under the bed, as you can tell. So that is the actual bag with all the manuals and the warranty and all the certificates of the boat. But you know, this is all storage for, you know, luggages and so on and so forth, and very useful additional storage. So this will be your master cabin. And if we turn around, right here we have another cabin, which, if you ask me, this is technically a guest cabin. I would probably rather take this, because once you are in this bed, I have actually slept in this bed multiple nights on the 47 and on the 48, and this bed is phenomenal. It comes with the filler, so you can see here. So if you want, it can be two separate beds, and this filler goes under this bed, perfectly stored, or you put the filler in, and this becomes a phenomenal, huge bed. I mean, look at the size of this bed. Really, this is in between a king and a queen American size bed once you go from side to side. So this is extremely comfortable. I have a television right there. So picture, you know, at night, once you're done, you want to watch a movie. I am not less comfortable than I would be in my own home here in Fort Lauderdale. So this is phenomenal space. This is actually very deep and nice storage for clothing, and there is some audio video components. So very deep and comfortable. And right here you have additional storage, two additional very deep storage on this side. So again, another phenomenal cabin. And while we are here, actually I want to also give always access. This shows, typically this would be an owner-operated boat, so we made it extremely easy to access all technical system. Those down here, for instance, are the UPS backup battery for the audio-video system. In case you lose power, they have to beep, and you want to acknowledge the beep. You just open this hatch, and they are right there. And those are all the drainage system in case you want to access and inspect. So we made every system, and we'll see it deeper when we go back out. We made every system extremely easy, accessible, because it's an owner-operated product, and therefore we want to make sure that the customer himself, if needed, is able to access all system at ease. For instance, this is a good way to show, first of all, the amount of storage that is under this bed. This is the leather cushion that goes on top of the table we discussed about before in the dinette to transform it in a bed. But again, this is how easy it is to access system. So this is right here, if you want to show, is your gray water tank, your gray water pump. They're right here. You just move a panel and they are easily accessible by anyone for service purposes. So each system extremely easy to access. You know, fan coil system, extremely easy to access. You know, this is your fan coil system right there, and to clean the filter, extremely easy. Remove the step and you clean the filter right there. So again, every system easy to access, and everything goes back in place. I think, no, we didn't. We forgot one of the most important parts, which is the head. 48 Verve, we kept the same identical oversized dimension and sizing of the head. So typically we use this kind of size of head at 55 feet, but we wanted to provide the Verve 48. We have a mixture. We have some customers, now that we have so many 47 on the water, we have some customers which actually spend time on board also overnight, so they use the 47 to sleep on it. Some others instead which use it more as a day boat only, or maybe they spend one night. But the certain fact is that once you spend a day on the water on a boat like this, everybody on board will use the bathroom. So that's why we have focused so much and make an oversized head, because even if you will never sleep on board because you want to use it as a day boat, you still will use the head. And so that's why it's oversized. Look at the size of this shower, which again, if you don't want to take the shower outside and you want a little bit more privacy, of course this is a bench, convenient for girls if they want to shave their legs and so on and so forth. But look at the size. Rain shower and telephone shower here in case of need. But again, look at the ergonomics. Look at the way I can move. I mean, there's no constraint. This is definitely a way oversized shower purposely on 48 feet. The same goes and applies to the rest of the head. So phenomenal head space with storage everywhere. Of course, that's clear and understood. And let's going out, because hopefully someone opened the technical room for us. Yes, they did. And so we can see a couple of features which we didn't show before. Number one, the television that I talked about. We got it up right now. So as I said, sitting on that sofa and watching your favorite game at the anchor with satellite TV on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, I think is priceless. And then down here, we always cover the technical side, which as far as I'm concerned is my favorite. So these, of course, you might wonder, what are these? These are the pistons of the high-low table. The beauty and incredible feature of that table, which disappear, give you free cockpit and then comes up and you can sit down 8 people for formal dining almost. That goes up and down through these guys. Those are the drainages. In case water get into there, is designed to drain out through these lines. And these are these covers to protect them. This is where the bow table goes. Remember that we saw that table, carbon fiber table? Once you're done, you open this, put it in here, and it disappears and doesn't bother you at all. Then you stay right here in this position. Going down here, as we discuss, of course, Seakeeper stabilizer right here. We got it spinning before, so I can feel that it's already up and running. Even now, today here at the dock, we definitely don't need it. Right there you have the automatic retractable shore power cable, that big black wheel with the cable, the white cable in it that you see is your cable master. So the shore power cable, which can be bulky and heavy, again, owner operated product, by the touch of the switch, it comes out and retracts very easily with no effort at all. That's what it is. Of course, you have your generator right here, 14 kW, so plenty of power for the boat. Kohler, top brand on the market. You have your battery charger right here, Master Volt. Again, I mentioned the name of the brand because, of course, as a manufacturer, you take those decisions for the customer, and those are all systems which might affect the usage of our product from our consumers. So if we select lower quality product, cheaper product, thinking that focusing on margin versus on quality of the experience of the consumer, that will affect our customers. So customers which buy an Azimut don't necessarily know what is the brand and model of the battery charger the manufacturer selects. The battery charger are very important. So again, I like to point out that every battery charger in here is Master Volt, which is top class battery charger system in the industry. So we have the entire bank of battery charger by Mastervolt. Generator is Kohler, propulsion system is Mercury, navigation system is Raymarine, stabilization system is Seakeeper. We didn't went to lower brand which just came out claiming to produce the same product. We stay with the top of the line, and more than anything we stay with companies which can provide service worldwide to our customers. This would be your black water system. Again, very important and therefore extremely accessible. This is your black water pump, so in case of need of replacement, you can see it's extremely easy to maintain and focus on. And that is your water control system right there. All these boxes, if you wonder, are all batteries, so they're on each side balanced. Fuel filters of your Mercs, of your 600. So again, extremely easy to access and maintain. Those black Mercury products, they're all fuel filters. And while you're there, I also want to show the quality of execution of the electrical system. This is done by us in-house, and as you can tell, everything is beautiful, clean, perfectly labeled. We provide both paper and digital electrical drawings, and you can find, these are all fuses. You see FU14, FU13, these are all fuses. So if something goes wrong, you just pop this out and change the fuse. All the circuits are labeled. These are all your contactor and breakers, dimmers, module, and so on and so forth. So this is all your DC distribution system. Those are those battery switches. These are battery switches that are controlled by those buttons that we saw in the electrical panel before. So once you touch one of those buttons, you see this moving electrically to open or close the related circuit. So that tells you also behind. I like to show always behind the scene and backstage, if you wish, to make sure that it's also appreciated the fact that we focus on the systems and quality of execution of the technical spaces as much as we do for the beautiful furniture or the beautiful outside line. Firefighting system, of course, that is self-explanatory. I would say that we cover it all, and so from here, which again is one of my favorite places on every boat, is the technical space. So I'm happy to conclude this walkthrough video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any question, please contact us, contact your Azimut dealer. And again, brand new Azimut Verve 48, which will also be featured at the Cannes Boat Show in 3 weeks and at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show in a little over a month and a half. So if you want to see it and touch it and feel it, come to Cannes in 3 weeks or come see us at Fort Lauderdale Boat Show here on this side of the pond. For now, thank you very much and stay safe on the water. Bye.